Sometimes our bodies find unique ways of telling us something is wrong. But would you believe my next guest credits her belly button with saving her life? Here's Kari's story. Take a look.
I'm in my 40s, and I've always gone for my regular pap smears and mammograms as soon as I was eligible for them. So when the doctor called with this news, I was floored. Early last year, I started noticing a change in my belly button. I was standing at the refrigerator and I sort of felt it, and I thought, that doesn't feel normal. And so I lifted up my shirt and I looked down, and it was red. It was the color of a pencil eraser. I called a dermatologist. He thought it was a neuroma, which isn't a big deal. He removed it and then told me he was going to send it to the lab to be tested. A few days later, they got the results of the biopsy back. He said, this is very unusual. I'm not sure how to say this, but the cells did indicate that they are ovarian cancer. My world just froze for a minute. I didn't even know what I was supposed to do next. It was the furthest thing from my mind.
And joining us now are Kari, an UCLA professor and vice chair of women's health research, gynecologic oncologist, my friend and colleague, Dr. Beth Karlan. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's great to be here.
Our pleasure. So, Kari, do you remember experiencing any other symptoms or signs that could have indicated ovarian cancer going on in your case?
Well, yeah, once I knew I had cancer and I looked back and I thought, what could I have missed? I did come up with 3 things that kind of had bothered me within the previous years. I had some back pain. I had some intermittent heartburn, and I have always had a frequent need to urinate. So I just, none of those things were bothering me at the time I went to this doctor's appointment. Certainly none of them were things that I would have gone to the doctor to ask about, and definitely would not have thought they had anything to do with my ovaries.
So after being diagnosed, what sort of treatment did you undergo?
It seems like there's a pretty standard treatment of care for ovarian patients. A lot of people have the same pattern where it's 3 treatments of chemotherapy, then surgery to remove all the cancer they can see, and then 3 more treatments of chemotherapy. So I had the first 3 chemotherapies. And then when I went in for my preoperative appointment, I found out the CT scan showed my tumors hadn't changed at all. The chemotherapy had done nothing. And fortunately, I had a wonderful surgeon named Dr. Urban in Seattle, and she removed all of the cancer she could see. And they found out that the reason the chemotherapy didn't work for me is that I have a rare subtype called low-grade serous ovarian cancer. And because it's slow growing, the chemotherapy that targets fast-growing cells had no effect. So the good news is I didn't need to have those last 3 chemotherapies. But the bad news is if it comes back, there aren't a lot of treatments for it.
Gotcha. Well, Dr. Karlan, coming to you now. First of all, how common is ovarian cancer?
Ovarian cancer is, the second most common gynecologic cancer in the U.S. It is, unfortunately, the most common cause of death. It's about 1 in 78 women, so about 1/8 as common as breast cancer, which is 1 in 8 women. The American Cancer Society estimates that there'll be about 23,000 new cases of ovarian cancer this year and about 13,000 deaths. But our treatments really are getting better. And so women can live many, many good years and full lives despite having ovarian cancer.
How do most women find out they have ovarian cancer?
The symptoms are vague. The most reliable symptoms are those of bloating, some abdominal discomfort or pressure, and some changes in bowel bladder habits. And it really does take a biopsy to make the ultimate diagnosis. We don't have a screening test today that's reliable.